One Zambia, one nation, and welcome to Zanis News. We look at the top stories making us headlines. Government intensifies measures to curb cholera. Southern Water and Sanitation Company secures 16 million euros. Government threatens to blacklist contractors who abandon projects. Plus, government working on carbon trade framework. With the news in detail, my name is Margaret Kangwa. A Secretary to the Cabinet, Patrick Kangwa, has directed government and quasi-government institutions to strengthen public health measures in an effort to curb the spread of cholera in places of work. Mr. Kangwa has expressed concern on the rising numbers of cholera cases and related deaths in the country. The Secretary to the Cabinet has stated that the surge in cholera cases poses a risk on human resources which may negatively affect service delivery by the public service. He has attributed the increase in reported cases to low levels of adherence to public health measures that have been put in place to manage further infections. Among the hygiene measures that Mr. Kangwa has listed includes restrictions of overcrowding in public premises, provision of clean, safe drinking water, and maintenance of sanitation in places of work. He has added that an employee suffering from cholera should not report for work, while appropriate measures should be undertaken for those presenting symptoms. And this is according to a circular issued to Zanis by Secretary to the Cabinet, Patrick Kangwa. Meanwhile, a government has intensified measures in the fight against the outbreak of cholera in the country. Among the measures includes emptying of pit latrines, installation of water tanks, and clearing of drainages, especially in hotspot areas. This was revealed by Minister of Community Development and Social Services, Doreen Mwamba, when she visited the cholera center at Hero Stadium in Lusaka. We have Vupe Sendwe reporting.
Government has heightened sanitation measures aimed at promoting hygiene among communities to mitigate the spread of cholera in the country. Minister of Community Development and Social Services today visited the cholera center at Hero Stadium to appreciate the prevailing situation.
Okay, government now has moved in to install over 70 tanks, and we are yet to put up 150 more. And I'm sure this week coming will achieve that. And we are cleaning the streets, especially in the hotspots. And in the meantime, trading on the streets will be banned so that we can contain the spread of cholera in Lusaka. This is a fight which has got no tribe, no party affiliation. Let's put our party differences aside. Come on board and fight this disease.
And later, Disaster Management and Mitigation Unit National Coordinator Gabriel Pollen checked on some of the installed water tanks in Kanyama and the ongoing works of emptying pit latrines in George townships.
And one of them is really the emptying of pit latrines, and this is the activity that we're seeing behind here.
Yes.
Because when the area is flooded, you see fecal matter mixing with water that people are accessing for their household use. So we're actually attacking the problem from the source. We're attacking the problem from the source, ensuring that we promote hygiene, ensuring that we protect our citizens, basically. So
Chimvano Nchabwin of Fecal Slag Management has been engaged to empty pit latrines in hotspot communities.
We work together with the Lusaka Water and Sanitation, and as you have seen, the area councillor in the community, and we also work with the health center, that is George Health Clinic.
And residents are grateful to the government for promptly moving in to mitigate the health challenge. Government is undertaking a wide range of activities to address the cholera epidemic in the country. Bupa Sendo for Zanis News in Osaka.
And the Ministry of Information and Media Permanent Secretary Tabo Kawana says President Hakainde Hichilema is determined to see to it that the fight against cholera is won. Mr. Kawana said the head of state has provided leadership by ensuring that resources and medication are procured in large quantities. We have more in the following report.
Information and Media Permanent Secretary Tabo Kawana says government is determined to win the battle against cholera. Mr. Kawana says government has procured enough medicines to combat the cholera outbreak. The Permanent Secretary also disclosed that President Hakainde Hichilema has issued directives to ensure that all shallow wells in compounds are buried.
All the requirements that are required to fight this pandemic are in place. The procurement teams are working 24/7. The medical staff are working 24/7. And the patients are getting the maximum care that they deserve.
Meanwhile, Mr. Kawana has implored members of the public not to hesitate to go to the nearest health facility if presented with cholera symptoms. He said this shortly after visiting cholera patients at Lusaka Zero Stadium.
Do not wait. Just the first sign of diarrhea, just the first sign, is enough for you to rush to the nearest medical facility so that we are able to fight this scourge. And a lot of people that have come here on time have all been discharged.
And Minister of Health Sylvia Masebo has called on members of the public to observe hygienic practices to avoid the further spread of cholera.
Where we treat somebody, they're discharged, 4 days later they're back. Why? Because when they go back, they're drinking the same type of water. But we're also encouraging them now to use chlorine.
Masebo also expressed confidence that with the measures that government is implementing, cases of cholera patients will start going down.
I'm quite happy and satisfied myself that we've made such tremendous progress. And you will see that actually the numbers will start going down.
The fight against cholera should not be left to the government alone, but requires concerted efforts if the battle is to be won. For Zanis, I'm Lakson Makodza.
Still on issues of cholera, and now from Chongwe, where the District Healthy Director Mwene Nseluke says the Ministry of Health is making efforts to reduce cholera cases in the district. Dr. Nseluke has disclosed that the district has recorded 115 cholera cases with 9 deaths. He has stated that most of the cholera cases that have been recorded are from Sylvia Masebo Township of Kapwanyambale Ward. He said this during a district epidemic preparedness, prevention and control management meeting at Chongwe Municipal Council. He has explained that the District Healthy Office, with support from various stakeholders, have put up surveillance mechanisms and preventive measures to deter the further spread of the disease. Meanwhile, Chongwe Municipal Council Town Clerk Adamson Mukwato has called for strengthening of epidemic surveillance systems to enable the district to respond appropriately towards the disease outbreak. Northwestern Province Healthy Director Lakson Chindikita has called on traditional leaders to help fight the growing tendency by expectant mothers who are shunning antenatal services. And speaking when he called on Chieftainess Nyakulenga of Zambezi District, Dr. Chindikita has revealed that many women in rural parts of the province still have a belief that a pregnancy should remain hidden in its early stages for fear that once it is known, it might mysteriously disappear through suspected witchcraft. Dr. Chindikita said this has impacted negatively on the lives of women as medical personnel are not able to monitor the development of the child and the mother. And details in this report by Chawun Koma.
Pre-pregnancy and prenatal care can help prevent complications and inform women about important steps they can take to protect their unborn babies and ensure a healthy pregnancy.
I would like to encourage the women who are pregnant. It's good to go to register for your pregnancy as early as 3 months. I remember the time I was pregnant, I registered. The moment I knew that I was pregnant, that's when I went to the clinic and I registered. So that one, it helps us as women so that we know how the child is growing and how your health is.
However, in Northwestern Province, a problem has emerged of women shunning attending the first 3 months antenatal care services owing to traditional beliefs of keeping the pregnancy secret from the public in its early stages.
There are a few benchmarks that the presidential initiative has put in place that should be fulfilled. Among these is that every woman who becomes pregnant within the first 4 months should be able to attend antenatal clinics. We need to monitor how the pregnancy is growing, and not only growing, the doctors and the nurses, they should be able to make a plan on how this mother who is pregnant should be able to deliver.
The local traditional leadership has this to say.
Especially this message which is about prevention of loss of life, we will not even waste time. We will definitely pass the message and we will ensure through our headmen that not just the hiding of the pregnancies, but as even attending antenatal in time and delivering in the facility. So we can just assure the director and his team that we'll go out of our way to sensitize our people against those myths.
Zambezi Acting District Commissioner is also concerned.
We already started, especially on the issues of women hiding pregnancies, because so we have been sensitizing, informing them that it's very important that from the inception of the day one of a woman realizing that I'm pregnant, it should be reported.
Reporting for Zanis News, I am Chebun Koma in Zambezi District, Northwestern Province.
Well, in other news, Lusaka Province Minister Sheo Muliata has handed over 31 Constituents Development Fund Community CDF projects in Luangwa District worth over 14 million kwacha. The minister has reiterated government's commitment to uplifting the livelihoods of the people. More in the following report.
These are Luangwa residents expressing happiness during a handover ceremony of 31 community projects. Lusaka Province Minister Sheo Muliata handed over the projects at a colorful event at Luangwa Town Council. Ms. Muliata has commended Luangwa Town Council and other implementing stakeholders for recording a milestone in service provision to the community through the Constituency Development Fund.
Luangwa Town Council has yet again recorded another milestone in service provision to the community, and for this I wish to congratulate the entire line of team players. In the past 2 years, the New Dawn government has made very, very significant and visible strides in improving the quality of infrastructure across varying sectors of society like education, health, community and social services, roads and water, just to mention but a few.
Stakeholders are happy with the development.
Ndivokondwera pano pa chendende pakwazi wadi pona bridge imene tiletera boma ya manje ya Newton yatipulumusa ku ngozi za bana pakati pa mazi kamazula kakasinkatu.
At Mwavi Secondary School, where pupils were literally sitting on the floor, they are no longer going to sit on the floor.
We just also appreciate and thank government for the gesture and for the vision to increase CDF or to devolve functions of government to lower levels.
And Lusaka Province Deputy Permanent Secretary Alex Makushi was also present at the event.
If we can educate our people before we give them the loans so that they know what is expected of them. But That mentality of bomber must come to an end.
Luangwa District Commissioner Luke Khan thanked government for the development in the district.
I'd like to express my gratitude to the President, Mr. Hakainde Chilema, and the New Dawn administration for this unprecedented people-centered development.
Lista Ndumba reporting in Luangwa District.
Well, with that item, let us now take a short break, and still to come, Zambian and Angolan delegates meet in Shangobo to discuss malaria elimination. Keep watching.
Kodi cholera ndi chani?
Cholera ndi matenda othulula. Munthu amene adwala matenda ya cholera amathulula kwambiri ndi kusanza. Dothi lake limakhala ngati madzi momwe atsukira mpunga. Ndipo munthu odwala cholera, madzi mthupi lake amatha kamba kakuti iye amachoka kwambiri kupyolera mkusanza ndi kuthulula kwambiri. Munthu odwala cholera angamwalire m'maola 12 kaya kuti 12 hours ngati sanalandire mwamsanga thandizo la mankhwala.
Kodi munthu angatengere motani matenda a cholera?
Kumwa madzi adothi, kudya zakudya ndi m'manja mosasamba mwadothi kapena kugwiritsa ntchito mbale zotsukiwa ndi madzi adothi. Kudya zakudya zimene zinangosiwa mosasamala posabwinikira. Kudya zakudya zozizira zachimbala zimene sizinasungiwa bwino. Kudya zakudya zimene amagulitsa mphepete mwa misewu. Kudya zipatso ndi ndiwo zamasamba zosatsuka.
Kodi cholera ingachinjiriziwe?
Gadusani madzi anu akumwa kapena kugwiritsa ntchito chlorine. Sambani m'manja ndi madzi aukhondo ndi sopo mukamaliza kugwiritsa ntchito chimbudzi. Funditsani zakudya mukalibe kuyamba kudya. Osadya zakudya zimene zimagulitsiwa mphepete mwa misewu. Muyenera kubwinikira zakudya kuopetsa kuti ntchentche zingakakeko. Nthawi zonse muyenera kugwiritsa ntchito chimbudzi. Pewani kugwiritsa ntchito machemba kapena maplastiki ngati chimbudzi. Onani kuti dothi litayiwa mchimbudzi. Nthawi zonse onani kuti zimbuzi zikhala zaukhondo ndipo nthawi zonse pambowa wa chimbudzi chanu pazikhala pobwinikira bwinobwino. Okubweretsani uthenga uyu ndi aunduna wa zaumoyo.
Are you ready for Africa's biggest football showpiece? Starting January 13th, watch the 2023 Ivory Coast Africa Cup of Nations live on Topstar for only 180 kwacha antenna classic or dish smart monthly subscription. Watch live all the 52 matches from group stage to the final. Witness the tournament opener as the Elephants of Ivory Coast take on Guinea-Bissau on Saturday the 13th at 22 hours live on Sports Premium. Thereafter, on Monday the 15th, catch the defending champions Senegal as they entertain Gambia at 16 hours. Then later watch Cameroon square off Guinea at 19 hours, both on Sports Premium. Continue with the AFCON fever and chant Zambia Kuchalo when the mighty Chipolopolo boys clash with Congo DR on Wednesday the 17th at 22 hours live on Sports Premium. Remember to download the StarTimes own app now and enjoy AFCON on the go. Subscribe for only 180 kwacha now. Topstar, enjoy Africa's best football.
We continue with the news. Southern Water and Sanitation company Swasco has secured 16 million euros from the European Union for the replacement of all its pumps with energy-efficient ones. And Swasco Managing Director Gift Monde said this during the company's strategic planning meeting in Choma. The move will also see the water utility company have solar systems on all major water plants to improve water supply to communities. And Mr. Monde also says Swasco and partners such as Waterworks from the Netherlands, WaterAid, Care International and local authorities are making positive strides by embracing climate-smart technologies in the supply of safe and clean water to urban, peri-urban and rural areas in the region. Gift Banji now reports.
With cholera taking its toll, a number of districts across the country have continued to record sporadic cases. This is attributed to, among other factors, poor sanitation and inadequate clean and safe drinking water. Southern Water and Sanitation Company Swasco, with support from partners, is keen to provide improved water quality. The utility company has been funded to a tune of 16 million euros by the European Union to replace all water pumps in a bid to enhance the provision of clean water for its clients.
We have also secured about 16 million euros from European Union. This is particularly meant for replacement of all pumps. You could be aware that our pumps are old and sometimes they are not dependable. We are going to replace all pumps with energy efficient pumps. This money we have secured. Further, within this project, we are going to put on all major plants solar system. So we go green. We need to mention here that we have partnered with in terms of water aid and also VEI, that is the Waterworks project from the Netherlands, Care International, water and for urban poor.
SWASCO workers gathered in Choma to map out a strategic plan for the province, especially for districts like Chirundu, where turbidity of water is high.
Power generation. So when they close the gates, the Zambezi River, as it reaches Chirundu, the water levels go down such that our plant remains exposed and we don't actually have any water to abstract. If Lusitu River, if it rains, the turbidity of water that gets into Zambezi, it's so high that we cannot treat. We end up actually shutting down the plant probably for 8 hours. We are on call. They are not attended at the bottom. They can escalate to our office here. We should be able to fight cholera as a country.
Serving employees also walked away with cash prizes as a motivation for improved customer care.
So we are very happy from the MD and the company. So this is encouraging for us to work extra more hard.
Gifty Banji, Zanis, in Choma, Southern Province.
And now, Southern Province Minister Credo Nanjua says government will blacklist contractors with a record of abandoning projects in the province. Mr. Nanjua has since called on officials mandated to award contracts to prioritize local contractors, saying that they have first-hand information and understanding of the challenges that the locals face. The minister was speaking in Kalomo district when he led a delegation of officers from the Southern Province administration in inspecting the over 178 million kwacha Nguba-Nyawa-Zimba road, whose works have been abandoned. We have more in the following details.
It was premised that upon completion, this road would not only enhance accessibility for the rural population in Kalomo, Zimba, and Kazungula district, but would also boost the economies of the rural communities in these areas. However, this is not the case today. Despite being commissioned 2 years ago, works on the 155-kilometer Nguba-Nyawa-Ziba road remain incomplete, and the contractor has abandoned the site. This has irked Southern Province Minister Credo Nanjua, who was on ground to understand the situation.
I am not agreeable to this kind of work. When I check elsewhere, this is not how these works are done. But from what I'm seeing, there is short work here. You mean we don't have contractors here in Southern Province? We go and procure in Kitwe. I want people that I can access. This is a PF legacy, where you are given money, you don't do the work, then you disappear. This is what I'm seeing here.
Local authorities and other parties involved are equally enraged.
There was high hope, but what we are seeing now is a different scenario altogether. Inactivity, and we have only done 30 kilometers so far. As a member of parliament, I'm supposed to rejoice that we have come in my constituents to do a good work, but what I'm seeing is totally different. I'm not impressed at all.
They are into financial crunch, liquidity crisis. It doesn't show in good in my CV that I am part of this project, because it just shows very bad, because a project should be completed in time, it should be completed within budget, it should be done safely.
The contractor, M&N Merchant Industrial Limited, struggled to convince the minister and his entourage on his actions.
Initially, we found a problem in understanding what is required on the project. This is the first time we are doing the OPRC project. We entered this financial crisis because of failing to understand how to access the funding which is there for the project. Now, this is where the financial situation is, whereby we failed to pay the workers and everyone.
Liseli Simusole, Zanis in Kalomo District, Southern Province.
Now, delegates from Zambia and Angola are meeting in Shangambo district of Western Province for a joint Southern Africa Development Community SADC malaria commemoration. And Western Province Minister Kapelwa Mbangweta, who officiated at the event, has urged participants from the two countries to strengthen the existing bilateral relations on matters relating to health, such as the elimination of malaria. Here is a report.
Malaria is a life-threatening disease. According to the World Malaria Report, the estimated number of malaria deaths stand at over 600,000 as of 2022. African countries continue to share the malaria burden. It is for this reason that Zambia and Angola have converged in Shangambo district to hold a joint Southern Africa Development Community SADC malaria commemoration between the two sister countries. The collaborative malaria project between Angola and Zambia, which is aimed at eliminating the disease, is called ANGOZAM Cross-Border Malaria Initiative, supported by Eastdale Flowers. Western Province Minister Kapelwa Mbangweta graces the successful event.
This occasion could not have come at a better time because we share a common border, we share a common heritage, and so we should be cooperating in a number of areas to improve trade, to improve commerce, to improve cultural ties. So arising out of that visitation by our head of state, from President Hakainde Hichilema, is now the duty of the provincial administrations in both Angola and Zambia to give practical life to what had been agreed.
Angola calls for concerted efforts in the malaria fight.
Quando os esforços das classes foi notório a nível dos países contra a malária e sua.
It is expected that through continued educational profession in the country public and the private health network, we effectively contribute to reduce malaria mortality in the region. Hence, the solidarity and the cooperation of member states must be greatly.
Ministry of Health and its partners emphasize collaboration in the fight against malaria.
That are being done on the Zambian side would be done similarly at almost the same time on the Angolan side. I would like to thank and commend both governments for their commitments to malaria elimination through cross-border malaria collaboration.
The Ministry of Green Economy and Environment says it is working on modalities to put in place the carbon trading framework in order for Zambia to start generating revenue from the venture to grow the economy. And Ministry of Green Economy and Environment Permanent Secretary Dauti Chibamba says once the framework is put in place, it will act as a blueprint to guide how carbon trading will be done in the country. And speaking in an interview with Zanis in Lusaka, Dr. Chibamba reaffirmed President Hakainde Hichilema's desire for the country to start accruing revenue from carbon trading. Sande Walia now gives us a report.
Working on the process to put in place the carbon trading framework in order for the country to start generating revenue from the venture to grow the economy. Minister of Green Economy and Environment Permanent Secretary Dauti Chibamba says once the framework is put in place, it will act as a blueprint to guide how carbon trading will be done in Zambia. Speaking in an interview with Zanis in Lusaka, Dr. Chibamba reaffirmed President Hakainde Hichilema's passion to accrue revenue from the carbon trading.
We got support from the German government to help us now to transform those interim guidelines into carbon trading framework for Zambia. So again, it's a blueprint that will guide how carbon trading is going to be done. Now, if you remember very well, the President has been speaking about this. For him, he's looking at three things when you're talking of carbon. One is the framework. Where is the framework that is going to guide how carbon trading is going to be done? And this is what the German government is helping us through developing those guidelines. And two, for the president, is about the price. What is the price that we are going to sell the carbon at? And here he is interested in us getting the best price. And number three, and perhaps most importantly, what benefits will accrue to the local communities who have this responsibility of taking care of the trees that are going to generate the carbon?
Dr. Chiwamba further reiterated his ministry's resolve to embark on sensitizing members of the public through partnership with Zanis on the subject of carbon trading and climate change matters.
First of all, carbon trading is a very abstract issue. Even for people who've gone to school to understand how is this carbon sold, how do we collect the carbon and put in a bag, then we take to the market to sell. So we haven't done a lot of sensitization there, and we are trying to see beginning this year. That's why we've gone into a partnership with Zanis. We've talked to ZNBC, and we have tasked our public relations unit to come up with a work plan for 2024.
Recently, President Hakainde Hichilema, during a press conference in Lusaka, highlighted how carbon trading can benefit local people in the country. Meanwhile, an environmental activist has called for strong partnership between government and the private sector to fight the adverse effects of climate change.
We have actually experienced the effects of climate change, speak of droughts, floods, to mention but a few. But it seems like our people are just folding hands without doing anything. We as Green Cosmos, we are coming on board to supplement government's effort in the fight against climate change.
For Zanis in Lusaka, I am Sunday Warrior.
Let us take another break. I'll be right back shortly for more news. Stay tuned.
Cholera wapa msongo muka. Cholera wapa msongo wa kuichisa. Mutu alina msongo wa cholera echikuichisa nga chikuma na kusaza nawa. Bize vipi mwaichisa mutu na vipoya meya nge msoji wa loso. Mubeji echikuzia nga chikuma mujimba mumo ya kufumisa meya a mujimba. Mubeji nawa na hase kufa mujola li 12 hours ngekawe chikumuhana vitumbo vya kumuka wa shiko. Unahase nga chili kwachi wa kumsongo wa cholera kuhichila mkuna meya kuwana kuhaka vitumbo nawa aze ali na majilo. Kulia vyakulya na mawoko aze ali na majilo chipwe kuzachisa malonga na jindeho ja kukosa na meya majilo akuhona kuhaka vitumbo. Kulia vyakulya vyakuhona kufika vize vana wili kubajiji. Kulia vyakulya vituta vize kabatumbikanga kana wako. Kulia vyakulya vize vana kulandulula mumikwakwa. Na kulia na wamihako na makovu ako na kukosa kanawa. Tunahasenga chili kulikinga kumusongo wa cholera. Telekenu meya enu akunwa chipwe kuhaka mo vitumbo vya chlorine. Sanenu kumawoko enu na sopo chipwe na meya kuhaka vitumbo hanyima ya kuzayisa chimbusho. Zumisenu vyakulya vyenu shimbukanda mubilye. Fwikenu vyakulya vyenu vyosena kuchina kuviwila kubajiji. Kanda kulya vyakulya vyakulanda mumikwakwa nduma. Zachisenu chimbusho lwalo sena. Kahakanda kuzachisa ndundu chipwe mapepa andundu hakuya na kulihehwa nduma. Mwatela kumona ngwenu vipi yosena munavitapwila mchimbusho. Chimbusho chanu nawa chatela kupwa cha unyoji kahanawa cha kufika lwalo sena. Mujimbu uno wana mnehela wakuli wakachanda chatala kulikangula cha meno ya watu cha Ministry of Health.
The government has commenced the planting of over 60,000 assorted tree species in Lufanyama district on the Copperbelt province. The exercise is aimed at restoring the lost forest cover and reduce negative effects of climate change in the country. Agrippa Sulumbwe has more in this report.
Over the years, Lufanyama has been among the top 3 districts with the largest forest reserve and food basket for the Copperbelt region. But the rate at which the forest cover is being depleted through charcoal burning and other activities like unconventional farming is worrying. Thus, stakeholders swinging into action to help the area retain its forest status by promoting afforestation.
Zambia is losing trees at a very alarming rate, which is approximately about 172,000 hectares of forest cover per year.
with the support from the CEC, we as Forest Research, in collaboration with all the relevant stakeholders, has joined the country at large in launching of tree planting activities in the district of Lufwanyama with the aim of planting a minimum of 60,000 assorted trees in Lufwanyama district alone. This is the venture that will help also create job opportunities amongst the local communities to help improve their livelihoods.
The Catholic Church is taking a front role in the replanting of trees.
We are honored by this tree planting exercise. Today, as we speak, already 550 are here, and then we continue. Tree planting, we acknowledge that it's a duty of everyone.
Reporting, I'm Agrippa Silumbwe.
Mumbwa District Commissioner Namukolo Hayumbu has assured farmers in the district of the availability of top-dressing fertilizer, which is reported to be in a shortfall. And Ms. Hayumbu says government has intervened and arrangements are being made to ensure that the farmers can have the commodity readily available. We take a look at this report.
The small-scale farmers are the major contributors to the household and national food security. However, anxiety in Mumbwa district has gripped the small-scale farmers after agro-dealers ran out of the top-dressing fertilizer. Mumbwa District Agricultural Coordinator Geshom Sikazwe has urged farmers to refrain from sharing inputs in smaller quantities.
When the farmers start utilizing inputs individually, the whole pack, that can allow us also to start winning them one by one, you know, so that the other farmers can also benefit. So that's what we have been encouraging farmers, and also to make sure that the inputs are used according to the intended purpose.
One of the farmers, Florence Kalaba, now highlights the advantages of the FISIP, while her counterpart, David Sirwamba, raises concerns on the non-availability of top-dressing fertilizer in the district.
Tukalipia 400 batikira ku government bamatitaniza kusunga banja ija peleka ku maskulu kudya tumachitanga twakuteula twapeleka ko tumozi ku town twagulisako twagulako mabuku ma uniform olyankala free education bamelefunika ku maskulu ni vambiri ero abakuti ku college tima abapeleka chikwa cha kupita muni fish
tikaendako ati kulibe bati bana swipe kudala yulia ikalibe kubwela so manje sitizi bamanje mwamene izankalira chifukwa hapa ikajumpa pa stage ya yulia ni shitankala futi na challenge inango ndiye ipeze kakwe bati sinagwire muje chifukwa yulia ndiye amene matumbusa mili.
And Mumbwa District Commissioner Namkulo Hayumbu has given hope to the farmers.
We have about 99% of farmers who have already collected both D and urea compound, but for the remaining percentage, the government is not just seated idle. Measurements have been put in place, especially for Mumbwa farmers. By Monday, they will start receiving their urea because the supply is on the way. It's on transit into the district.
While some farmers eagerly await for the top-dressing fertilizer, they are also reminded to utilize the inputs sensibly. Krogasiankuru, Zanis, Mumbwa.
Mongu District Commissioner Morgan Akabeswa has directed all government line ministries in Mongu District to actively get involved in early childhood development programs. Mr. Akabeswa said this when he officiated at a stakeholders meeting that Namuso Community Development Organization arranged. Here is a report.
Namuso Community Development Organization is a community-based organization and is implementing a community-driven systems change for early childhood development program in Mongu and Limulunga districts of Western Province. Mongu District Commissioner Morgan Akabeswa officiated the meeting.
Saying what you are aiming at and aiming for. It's a participatory type of interventions where people come together and share. They consult each other, and this can all be achieved by having timely meetings. But those timely meetings must be followed by action. Without action, then we are not building anything. Ladies and
Martin Kalaluka, the Executive Director for Namuso Community Development Organization, has explained that the program has 5 components of nurturing care framework, namely opportunities for early learning, good health, adequate nutrition, safety and security, and responsive caregiving.
Here we are here with our stakeholders, the line government ministries that we are working with under this initiative, because we know we are not the owner of the programs, but we are just supplementing government's effort. And as far as we are concerned as Namuso, we have constructed about 3 ECD or ECE centers in Mongu, 2 in Mongu, and 1 in Limunga district for opportunities for early learning for children.
Some of the participants I spoke to said all parents should be concerned about the development of their children.
You know, the development of children is very, very important for us. As parents, as grandmothers, as everybody, we should be concerned, because it's from this child that we are going to have the future leaders of our country.
We are happy to say that Namus as NGO, they are much fully engaged to support the welfare of the children.
Namakao Kayombo, reporting for Zanis in Mongu, Western Province.
We now take our last break. I'll be back shortly.
Kanti Cholera kibutuku manyim. Cholera kibutuku bwa kusululam. Mutu yanani butuku bwa Cholera utasulula ni kutazam. Mutu yakula butuku bwa Cholera usulula meza mfutasi na araisi aya kwa mutabanim. Mukuliyo ukato kwa mezi mamubili bakengisa kufufulelwamu. Mukuliyo ukona kutimela mwahalalihola zeli shumi kazepeli haiva asafumanilikalafo zambuwamu. Mutu ukona kuyambula choni butuku wa Cholera. Kunwa mezi asikakeni swakapa kunwa mezi amasilamu. Kuchalicho ni mazo atezi masila kapa kuitusali ya peiso zetapisizwe ni mezi amasilamu. Kuchalicho zesika kwaelwa ni kuselezwa kwa linzinzimu. Kuchalicho zelobezi ilizeo alisikabukelezwa handem. Kuchalicho zelekisiwa mama kululum. Kuchalitolwana manicholo ni mulo zesika tapiswamu. Luko na chwani kuiselezwa kwa butuku wa Cholera. Kuvilisa mezi akunwa kapa kuvea mwateni chlorine. Mfutuma zelichoza mina pili musikali chakalem. Mukwae lichoza mina kaufela kulisileleza kwa linzinzimu. Muske mwa chalicho za mama kululum. Mwitu sekali mbalimba nako kaufela. Mi muske mwa itusa bikopo kapa mapepa amuyumba zemasilamu. Mubone kuli mutabani wala telwa mwakali mbalimbamu. Mubone kuli kalimbalimba kamina kakenile nako kaufela manicholo ni kukwaelwamu. Lingosale litakumina kuzwa kubalikolo la maketem.
Still in the news, the Agriculture Department in Siavonga District has commenced training of camp officers in integrated fall armyworm management to reduce on the negative impact that pests have on small-scale farmers. And Siavonga Senior Agriculture Officer Amon Mambalakata has encouraged the camp officers to be alert and assist farmers in detecting early the signs of fall armyworm attacks on their crops in order to prevent the further spreading of the pests, and more in the following report.
In a significant move to combat the threat of fall armyworm, government has allocated about 50 million kwacha to the Ministry of Agriculture to help fight the pests in the country. In Siavonga District, the Department of Agriculture has embarked on training camp officers in integrated fall armyworm management as a way of equipping them with information on how to identify and manage the pests. Further, the team went for a field experience to identify signs of the fall armyworms infestation, which has already infected most fields in the district.
This is a pest which has been with us for some time, and now we've managed, or we have known, we've come up with methods on how to eliminate or maybe mitigate or reduce the effects, the devastating effects of these fall armyworms. So the assurance we're giving them that once they've planted, let the farmers consult from the camp officers, and also the camp officers should interact more with the farmers so that issues of monitoring and scouting in the fields can be done, so that at least an amicable solution can be found so that we protect and secure our food.
The district farm management officer encouraged farmers to detect the fall armyworms early and ensure maximum management of the pests.
Farming is a business currently, and nowadays what we expect from each and every farmer is to produce not only for consumption but also for the market. So it's very imperative that these fall armyworms are controlled at a very, very early stage so that quality is not compromised.
The camp officers are confident that the training will empower farmers to be able to fight the fall armyworms.
They are very much ready because we have been trained and equipped with information on how we are going to help farmers in the field concerning about the fall armyworm.
The workshop was very beneficial. Personally, I've gathered some knowledge which I will use in the field as I am going to work with the farmers.
Mkwengu Shapande, Zanis, Siavonga District, Southern Province.
Zambia National Service ZNA's Deputy Commander and Chief of Staff Major General Ruben Mwewa has directed the ZNS Training School Commandant to transform the training institution into a center of excellence. And Major General Mwewa said this during the officers' annual ball at the ZNS Training School in Kabwe. Details in the following report.
Annual balls are military traditions held once every end of the year. Just like many other military establishments, the Zambia National Service Training School has held its 2023 ball in pomp and splendor. Zambia National Service Commander and Chief of Staff Major General Ruben Mwewa graced the occasion and tipped the units in Central Province.
Zambia National Service Training School, your mandate is to train the human resource that will eventually work and serve the Zambian people through ZNS, through capacity building programs, as well as the training of recruits. Zambia National Service Mumwa holds immense potential in irrigated food crop production. ZNS Samba, you know your core function. Your core business is run a beef cattle production supported by poultry and piggery. My instruction to you is to ensure that you account for funds committed to these ventures so that you grow them to proper economic enterprises. Any form of mismanagement on your part will attract corresponding punitive action.
Zambia National Training School Commandant Colonel Peter Mwelwa highlights some of the successes the institution has scored.
Deployment training of troops who were subsequently deployed at various operation areas such as Operation Safeguard, Operation Paconest, Operation Buhobe, and Operation Dengo. In the area of infrastructure development, the school undertook a number of construction and rehabilitation works, such as the construction of the 1x5 housing project that is still ongoing, and this is meant to alleviate accommodation challenges of school personnel.
When all was said and done, it was time for the Zambia National Service Deputy Commander to lead his troops to the dance floor. Zanis reports in Kabwe Central Province.
The Kanongesha Royal Establishment in Winilunga District of Northwestern Province has cautioned public and private institutions, including members of the general public, against entertaining anyone claiming to be Senior Chief Kanongesha of the Lunda people. And Chief Muinyinyi Lamba of the Lunda people in Ikelenge District says the royal establishment is aware of a named individual who is visiting unsuspecting institutions, individuals and media houses claiming to be the new Senior Chief Kanongesha. Chief Muinyinyi Lamba, who is traditionally mandated to install Chief Kanongesha, says the royal establishment has not yet installed anyone as Senior Chief Kanongesha following the demise of late Chief Matthews Sweta in May 2022.
Yami mwanta Muinyinyi Lamba ufota. Mandumi ya mwanta mneni Kanongesha. Iracha kwayam. Amna yamna swani kanga Kanongesha. Mandumi yindi. Katachi mwalimu Julai nakaboma na watu alingi nawo kuna kumnganda naka kanso eji batuteni mwane wakaboma nanya ntaba kwa watu alingi nawo iranga sakacha dikanyenyi kutonda na ndi mwani twa fundi kweji mawetu kamuchiye di mu September awanu September twadi kuna nakaboma adiho na akasu sebulita nwena yili dichimwana dikangi akudikanya hana twafuntiri n'imvura ino kandikunoka kwesikana sema chetu cha Lunda twaswanika neyi imvura na nokedese kinjira imadilu twemikanga ufuma ukwimika ituko yembera nonga neyi twetuna twatuliputuna mu August September ikuswanika chenyina iracha kwayama nangashi nineno akaboma mandi ko akuna ko aswanika ko mwantata indi no waswanika ya mandumi ya Kanongesha ko swache ngukune yena kaboma chiruka nukuchiruka yera tunu ni kashinga mpata achiruka nukuchiruka na waswanika wantawa Kanongesha yini mandumi ndi ifoto yo wanu ndiko di ifoto namkwao yo wana ichampa mwana ojamante utana wa aswaniki amdina aswanika nkawa yele to aswanika ngitwanyanda bai mwanto no aswanika adi waswanika nkawa nchubera nyanta makwa wa
amwani ya mjesman sanda uru omba irunga wa mwanta munene Kanongesha saipa charo ko kerengo ma ansa kwirane kulondenera muko yoma ya wanta yakashima ni yakondama ufune de chimuna mone chima tina kwati kuchikasa chame di indondo yale meshiruna chima wanta mu Zambia kudi Queen Elizabeth wanta wakachima tinga ukanene chicho.
Well, that item brings us to the end of the news, but before I finish, we have the weather update.
Thank you for joining us. We are going to give you an update of the performance of the 2023-2024 rainfall season. If you recall, we gave a statement of which we said our country was going to be affected by the El Nino phenomena. El Nino phenomena has got the effect of reducing rainfall over much of the southern half of Zambia, leaving most of the rainfall activities to the northern parts of the country. So far in the season, we saw a delayed onset, especially over the southern parts and eastern parts of the country. And also, we observed high daytime temperatures, above average temperatures, where some stations even recorded more than 40 degrees Celsius. Dry spells were also observed during the season, and also we saw an increase in rainfall activities in the last 2 weeks. With that, let's just take a look at the performance in terms of rainfall amounts. So far, when we look at the cumulative rainfall amounts from 1st October to 30th December 2023, we see that much of the northern half of the country has recorded total rainfall exceeding 400 millimeters, with some areas in deep green shadings indicating total rainfall exceeding 600 millimeters. For the southern parts of the country, which includes western, southern, central, Lusaka, eastern, and some parts of Muchinga, these areas have recorded total rainfall less than 400 millimeters, with the extreme southern parts in deep brown shadings indicating less than 200 millimeters. Now, if you look at this cumulative rainfall and compare it to the 30-year period average, what we see is that much of the country has recorded normal rainfall, except for a few stations, especially to the south, where below average rainfall has been recorded. For the northern parts in deep blue shadings, these areas have recorded above average rainfall. We now take a look at the soil moisture. How much soil moisture do we have? When you look at our country, most parts of the country have already recorded sufficient soil moisture as of 31st December. That is soil moisture ranging between 90 and 100 millimeters, meaning that most of the soils are saturated, and any significant amount of rainfall may lead to flooding, except for the western side and the eastern side of the country, where we see some slight soil moisture, that is soil moisture less than 50%. Now, let's take a look at the forecast for the next 7 days. What we see is that most of the rain between 5th and 11th January will be more to the northern parts of the country, where amounts ranging between 40 to around 125 millimeters is expected. For the orange shadings over those areas, these areas indicate that rainfall expected will be above 125 millimeters. Except for the southern parts of the country, where we see a reduction in rainfall, that is around southern, western, and some parts of Lusaka, these areas are expected to receive total rainfall amounting to 25 millimeters or less. Given that scenario where we have saturated soil moistures and more of the rains confined to the northern parts of the country, with a reduction over the southern parts of the country in the next 7 days, what advisories do we have? We now take you to the agricultural advisories. Farmers in this case are advised to be cautious when applying top-dressing fertilizers and herbicides in areas with high rainfall to avoid wash-away. These are areas mainly to the northern parts of the country. And farmers are encouraged to take advantage of the sufficient moisture by planting legumes, cassava, and sweet potatoes. You are advised to do crop diversification. Use best dressing fertilizers at planting to utilize soil moisture and encourage strong root and crop growth. Maintain weed-free fields to reduce competition for soil moisture and nutrients. In areas expecting less rainfall in the coming days, that is mainly to the southern parts of the country, employ moisture retention technologies of conservation agriculture, such as application of mulch or organic matter on soil surfaces. Farmers are urged to intensively scout for pests, as they can cause a lot of damage during drier weather conditions. Farmers are also advised to use integrated pest management to manage fall armyworms in areas where the crop is showing signs of infestations. And finally, regularly and intensively scout for pests and diseases during drier conditions and report any unusual insects or crop diseases to the nearest agricultural office. From the Weather Studios and the Meteorological Department, we urge you to follow us and keep on getting the weather updates from the Meteorological Department, as they also contain agricultural advisories. This has been Peggy Tole. Enjoy the weather.
Well, that was the weather update coming from the Ministry of Green Economy and Environment in Zambia. We look at the headlines once again. Government intensifies measures to curb cholera. Southern Water and Sanitation Company secures 16 million euros. Government threatens to blacklist contractors who abandon projects. Plus, government working on carbon trade framework. That's it from Zanis News Desk, and thank you so much for watching. Now enjoy the rest of our programming. It has been Margaret Kangwa. Keep watching.